Uncle Wiggily on the Farm. Story 1. Uncle Wiggily and the Oats. Uncle Wiggily Longears, the nice bunny rabbit gentleman who lived in Woodland, was not very well. "I think you had better call Dr. Possum," said Uncle Wiggily to Nurse Jane Fuzzy Wuzzy, his muskrat lady housekeeper. "Perhaps he can make me feel better." In came Dr. Possum, with his satchel of medicine hanging over his back from the crook in his tail, just as the little possums cling to their mother's tail when they go out with her looking for something to eat. "I don't feel at all good, Dr. Possum," said Uncle Wiggily. "Ho hum, let me look at your tongue," said the animal doctor. And when Uncle Wiggily had stuck out his tongue and had been looked at both sides, the bunny said, "What kind of medicine are you going to give me, Dr. Possum?" "No medicine at all," said Dr. Possum. "What you need is to get out in the country, breathe fresh air, and eat lots of lettuce and turnips and cabbage and milk. Get out in the country on a farm." "On a farm?" cried Uncle Wiggily. "Yes, on a farm," spoke Dr. Possum again. "Go live on a farm, you and Nurse Jane. It will do you both good." Uncle Wiggily twinkled his pink nose once or twice, like a raisin in the middle of a sugar cookie, and then he said, "Well, I think it would be nice to live on a farm. Come on, Nurse Jane, we'll go." And before another week had passed, Uncle Wiggily and Nurse Jane Fuzzy Wuzzy were living in a hollow stump bungalow on a nice farm that the bunny uncle had bought. It was not far from where Sammy and Susie Littletail, the rabbit children, lived, nor was it a great way from the trees where Johnny and Billy Bushytail, the squirrels, scampered about. And as I have told you in other books, many stories about Uncle Wiggily finding his fortune and having adventures, and going to the seashore, up in an airship, and riding in an automobile. Now I will tell you some stories that happened to him when he was on the farm. And now to begin. "I shall be very busy today, Nurse Jane," spoke Uncle Wiggily as he slowly walked off the porch of his hollow stump farmhouse. "Very busy indeed I shall be. In fact, you might put me up a little lunch to take with me." "A lunch? Oh, Wiggily. Why?" she asked. "Aren't you coming home for lunch?" "I don't believe I'll have time," answered the rabbit gentleman. "You see, I have to go and call on many of my friends." "Aren't you going to attend to your farm?" the muskrat lady asked. "Oh, yes, and it is about my farm that I go call on the other animal folk. You see, the oats on my farm are getting ripe and ready to cut. I need help, as there are many oats, and I am going around to ask Sammy and Susie Littletail, the rabbits, Johnny and Billy Bushytail, the squirrels, Jackie and Petey Bow Wow, the puppy dog boys, and all my other big and little friends, to come and help me gather the oats. That is why I will not be back to lunch." "Then I'll put you up a nice one," said Nurse Jane. In a basket she put some lettuce, sandwiches, with slices of carrots between them. There were also some watermelon seed, ice cream puffs, and a little cabbage jelly spread over the cucumber bread. Oh, it was a very fine lunch indeed. It makes me hungry when I write about it. So with his lunch in a basket over his paw, off started the bunny uncle to ask his friends to come and help him gather the oats that grew on his farm. "Come and help you? Of course we will," cried all the animal folk, big and little, for they loved Uncle Wiggily and wanted to do him a favor. Over the oat fields they went, and then such a busy time as there was. The rabbits and squirrels, also the doggies, bit off oat stalks with their sharp teeth. The ducks, Lulu, Alice, and Jimmy Wibblewobble, and Grandfather Goosey Gander, nibbled off the oats in their bills. And Nettie and Becky Stubtail, the kind bears, pulled them off with their claws. "My, I'll certainly have a lot of oats this year," cried Uncle Wiggily, making his pink nose twinkle as he stood in the field and watched the grain being gathered. There'll be enough for Gup, the kind old horse, as well for the ponies Dotty and Munchy Trot. It is very good of you, my friends, to help me gather the oats. Oh, we like it, cried Sammy Littletail. It is like a picnic to us. It would be a real picnic if there were something to eat and some pink lemonade to drink, spoke Alice Wibblewobble. Bless your wing feathers, cried Uncle Wiggily. Of course there's something to eat. And then surely enough came Nurse Jane Fuzzy Wuzzy and Old Mother Goose, bringing a number of baskets filled with good things from peanuts to ice cream popcorn balls. When all the oats were cut down, the animal folk gathered together and carried them into Uncle Wiggily's barn. There they were put in a big box or bin, like the coal bin, only it was made of white, clean boards, not black and dirty ones. Well, I think I'll go out into the barn and look at my oats, said Uncle Wiggily, about a week after they had been stored in the bin. I want to see if I have room for any more. So out to the barn went the bunny uncle, and climbing to the top of the oat bin or box, he looked down inside. But something must have happened, for all of a sudden Uncle Wiggily's paw slipped, and right down among the oats he fell head over heels. The oats were almost as soft as hay, so he did not get hurt in the least. But when he tried to walk across them and to the edge of the bin, he sank down almost to his shoulders. The oats were very soft and shiny slippery, and it was like trying to climb up a hill of sliding sand. Uncle Wiggily could not do it. Oh dear, he cried, and his pink nose twinkling like a looking glass in summer. I'll never get out of here. I'll have to stay in the oat bin forever. Oh dear. He tried and tried again to get up the slippery hill of oats in the bin, but he could not. Then he cried, Help! Help! Will no one help me? Why, yes, I'll help you. Who are you and where are you? A voice outside the barn asked. I'm in the oat bin. Where are you? Please get me out, answered the bunny gentleman. Into the barn came running Nettie Stubtail, the little boy bear. He was just passing it and heard Uncle Wiggily call. I can't see you, said Nettie, as he stood in the middle of the barn floor. Well, I'm inside the bin, and it's so slippery I can't get out, said Uncle Wiggily. But there is a hole in the bottom of the bin, through which the oats slide out. The hole is covered by a board. Pull out this board, and I will slide out with the oats. Nettie the boy bear did this. Out came sliding the slippery oats through the hole just as this coal slide out of the wagon. And with the oats on the barn floor shot Uncle Wiggily, not hurt a bit, a little dusty and quite sneezy, for the dust from the oats got up in his nose. Thank her snit-zio, Ned a Jew chew die, he said, and Nettie laughed. So that's how the bunny gentleman fell into the oats and got out again. And if the sweet pickle doesn't fall into the barrel of sauerkraut and get its warts so mussed up it can't go to the clam chowder party, I'll tell you about the next Uncle Wiggily and the cows.